My father's phone call came the day before Noah's 5th birthday party. His voice on the line was weak, and I could hear him coughing through the receiver. The results of his lung cancer tests had come back. The doctor said he needed surgery. "Sarah, I hate to be a burden on you," he said, his words trailing off. It had been 10 years since Mom died, and Dad had been managing on his own all that time. He'd never once complained or shown weakness. I made my decision right away. I had to be there for him. When I told Jason, my husband nodded with his usual gentle smile. "Of course you do. I'm worried about him too. Leave Noah to me. I can adjust my work schedule." He pulled me close. In our 6 years of marriage, Jason had always been on my side. Even though he was busy with his IT job, he always helped willingly with housework and childcare. I felt grateful all over again for what a happy marriage I had. When I explained the situation to Noah, my young son looked up at me with his big eyes. "Mama, go help Grandpa. Noah will be a good boy." Those words made my heart swell. Only 5 years old, and already so thoughtful. I hugged Noah tight and promised I'd come back. I called my sister Emily too. "Leave Dad to me. I'll come help out from time to time. And I'll check on Noah too. It'll be hard for Jason all by himself." Emily was always so supportive. Even though she was busy working as a hairstylist, she'd make time for family. Emily meant so much to me. Since we lost Mom, it seemed like our bond as sisters had only grown stronger. The morning I left, Noah came to the door in his pajamas. "Mama, you're really going?" His voice sounded a little lonely, but he quickly smiled. "But it's okay. Papa and Noah will do our best together." Jason picked Noah up and waved to me. "Drive safely. Give my best to your father." Looking back from the car, I could still see them waving from the doorway. Such a warm family scene. I'd taken this happiness for granted. I never imagined that a month later, this happiness would completely shatter. When I arrived at Dad's house, he looked thinner than I'd expected. His cheeks were hollow, with deep circles under his eyes. Still, when he saw me, that familiar gentle smile appeared. "Sarah, you came. I'm sorry." His voice was weak but warm. The first week was hectic. Hospital tests, meetings with doctors, preparing for surgery. Dad never complained, instead constantly worrying about me. "Is Noah all right? Am I putting too much burden on Jason?" he'd ask repeatedly. Each time, I'd answer with a smile. "Everything's fine. Jason sends me messages every day. He says Noah's doing great." And it was true, Jason's messages never stopped coming. Every morning when I woke up, there'd be something like, "Good morning. Noah's doing well today. Yesterday we made pizza together." Sometimes he'd send photos too. Pictures Noah had drawn, meals they'd cooked together, the two of them playing at the park. In every photo, Noah was smiling. Jason looked happy too. Emily called frequently as well. "I saw Noah today. He's such a good boy. Jason's managing fine, so don't worry." Her words were reassuring. Apparently she was visiting our house 2 or 3 times a week. "Noah calls me Aunt Emily. He's just adorable." Emily had always loved children. I thought that when she had her own family someday, she'd make a wonderful mother. Dad's surgery was scheduled for 2 weeks out. During that time, I stayed by his side. I cooked his favorite meals, watched TV with him, and we reminisced about old times. Memories of when Mom was alive, stories from when Emily and I were children. Dad would smile with his eyes half closed. You two sisters were always so close. Emily used to follow you everywhere. That was true. Emily had looked up to me. From when we were little, she'd admired me. When Mom died, I was the one who supported Emily. She was only 18 then. Dad was consumed by grief too, so I had to take care of her. Since then, our bond should have deepened. On the day of surgery, Emily rushed to Dad's house. You shouldn't be alone. I'll stay with you. She squeezed my hand. We waited 6 hours outside the operating room. Such a long, long time. Emily stayed by my side the whole time. It'll be okay, Dad's strong, she kept reassuring me. The surgery was successful. When the doctor came out and told us it had gone well, Emily and I hugged each other and cried. Dad was saved. He'd need rehabilitation, but the prognosis for recovery was good. I couldn't stop crying. Emily was crying too. Thank goodness, she said, rubbing my back. After the surgery, Dad gradually regained his strength. By the 3rd week he could eat on his own, and by the 4th he could take short walks. Even the doctor was surprised by how quickly he was recovering. It must be because of your family's support, he said. I felt truly grateful. I thought it was thanks to everyone's cooperation, Jason, Emily, all of them. I talked with Jason on the phone every night. I'm relieved your father's doing well. Everything's fine here. Noah prays for Grandpa every day. My husband's voice was gentle and reassuring. I talked to Noah too. Mama, come home soon. But take good care of Grandpa until he gets better. My son's words warmed my heart. Emily came to Dad's house on weekends to help me. Taking care of Dad, cleaning the house, shopping. She took the initiative with everything. You must be tired. Take a rest, she'd say thoughtfully. I was filled with gratitude for Emily. I felt lucky to have such a kind sister. A month passed. Dad's condition stabilized, and the doctor said home care would be fine. You must be missing Noah, Dad said with a smile. It was true. After being apart for a whole month, I was aching to see Noah's face. I wanted to see Jason too. My precious family. I'm going home tomorrow, I said, and Emily nodded with a smile. Yes, Noah's been waiting. Jason told me he wants you to come home soon too. Emily's words made my heart race. Tomorrow I could return to my beloved family. I'd hug Noah and thank Jason. The thought made me so happy I couldn't sleep. The next morning, I said goodbye to Dad. Drive carefully. Give my love to Noah. Dad looked better than before. Emily came to see me off too. You really worked hard. Get some rest. As Emily hugged me, I expressed my gratitude. Emily, thank you so much. I couldn't have done it without you. As I drove, I savored my happiness. Dad had recovered. My husband was understanding, my son was thoughtful, my sister was kind. I thought my family was perfect. I believed nothing was missing. The drive home seemed shorter than usual. I just wanted to see Noah. That thought filled my heart. I arrived home in the evening. The orange sunset was lighting up the neighborhood. Seeing the familiar exterior of our house, I breathed a sigh of relief. I'm home. Murmuring those words to myself, I headed for the door. The moment my hand touched the doorknob, I felt something was wrong. It wasn't locked. The door was slightly open. Jason was meticulous by nature, he always locked the door. For Noah's safety, he was always extremely careful. Why was the door unlocked? A bad feeling crept over me. I slowly pushed the door open. "I'm home," I called out, but there was no answer. The entryway was dim and silent. Shoes were scattered carelessly. This was also strange. Jason always lined up his shoes neatly. He should have taught Noah to do the same. I walked down the hallway toward the living room. Only my footsteps echoed. My heartbeat quickened. Something was wrong. The moment I sensed it, I saw the living room door was open, and something was on the floor. It was a person. A small body lying there, with red liquid spreading across the floor. Blood. My feet stopped. No, they didn't stop. I was running. Screaming. Noah. Noah was lying there covered in blood. His white t-shirt was stained bright red, blood flowing from his head. I dropped to my knees and picked up my son. "Noah, hang on." My hands were shaking. My son's body was warm. He was still alive. Barely breathing. Noah's eyelids slowly opened. His unfocused eyes looked at me. "Mama." His voice was hoarse. "Mama, run away now." My son's small hand gripped my arm. "So weak. Run." "Mama." "Why? What happened? Who did this?" I asked desperately. I had to call an ambulance. Where was my phone? As I reached for my bag, Noah grabbed my clothes. "No. Run, they're still here." At that moment, I heard a sound behind me. Footsteps. Slow, heavy footsteps. Someone was there. Coming closer from the back of the living room. Holding my son, I fearfully turned around. Standing there was a woman. Long hair, slender figure. Holding something shiny in her right hand. A knife. A blood-stained knife. In the dim living room, I couldn't see the woman's face clearly. But her stance seemed familiar. "Who?" My voice trembled. The woman took a step closer. Light illuminated her face. It was Emily. Emily was standing there holding a blood-stained knife. Emily. I couldn't believe it. Why was she here? Why was she holding a knife? Why was Noah lying there covered in blood? My mind was in chaos. I couldn't understand anything. Emily was smiling. A cold smile I'd never seen before. "Welcome home. If you'd been a little later, it would have been perfect." That voice wasn't the Emily I knew. It was cold as ice. "What are you talking about? What did you do to Noah?" I screamed. Emily tilted her head. "What did I do? He was in the way, so I tried to eliminate him. If this child hadn't been here, things would have moved along much faster." I heard footsteps again. This time from another direction. The stairs. Someone was coming down. I held my breath. It was Jason. My husband was coming down the stairs. He too had an expression I'd never seen before. Cold, distant eyes. "You're late, Sarah," Jason said. His gaze looked down at me. If you'd come home a little earlier, you could have witnessed your son's final moments. He laughed. A genuinely amused laugh. My world collapsed. My husband, my sister, the two of them looking at me. The two who had hurt Noah, laughing as if it were nothing. What's going on? I couldn't get the words out. My throat was tight, no words would come. Noah moved faintly in my arms. Mama. Papa. Aunt Emily. My son's voice was broken. Emily came closer. Swinging the knife lightly. You know, I've always wondered why you got to be so happy. Madness dwelt in her eyes. A wonderful husband, a cute son, a stable job. All yours. I had nothing. Emily, you have. I started to say, but Emily raised her voice. Shut up. You always look at me like that, with pity. You're kind, you're perfect, you have everything. I'm sick of it. Jason placed his hand on Emily's shoulder. An intimate gesture. My husband, touching my sister. The scene didn't seem real. Calm down, Emily. It's going according to plan, Jason said gently to Emily. A sweet voice, completely different from how he spoke to me. Plan. I whispered. Jason looked at me. Yeah, a plan. Emily and I have been together for a year. We were waiting for you to go take care of your father. Perfect timing. A year ago. When I thought we were still happy. When Jason was still being kind to me. When Emily still looked up to her sister. Had it all been a lie? Finally, everything that's yours will be mine, Emily whispered. Your husband, your house, your life. All mine. I don't need you anymore, sister. Noah was trembling in my arms. I had to protect my son. I had to protect this child. I desperately tried to think. Cell phone. In my bag. I had to call the police. But Emily and Jason were standing around me in a circle. No escape. I couldn't run carrying Noah. My son was seriously injured. If I moved him violently, his wounds might open further. Why? I said through tears. Why would you do this to us? Emily's face twisted. Because you were happy. That's reason enough. Jason took a step closer. All right, let's end this. Emily, give me the knife. The moment he reached out, Noah screamed. Stop. Don't hurt Mama. My son's voice was weak but desperate. That voice brought me back to my senses. I couldn't give up here. I had to protect my son. I tried to stand up. But my legs had no strength. Fear paralyzed my body. Emily laughed. It's useless. It's over. The knife gleamed. The blade was pointed at me. At that moment, Noah coughed. Blood came up. His small body convulsed. Noah. I held my son tightly. I couldn't lose this child. Absolutely not. Fear turned to anger. Whatever Emily and Jason were plotting, I would protect my son. As a mother, that was non-negotiable. I reached for my bag. I grabbed my cell phone and with trembling fingers pressed 911. What are you doing? Jason yelled and ran toward me. But I put the phone to my ear. It rang. Emily raised the knife. Hang up. Emily's scream echoed. 911, emergency dispatch, the operator's voice came through. At that moment, Jason tried to grab the phone from my hand. I resisted desperately. Help! My son's been attacked. The address is. Jason's hand gripped my arm. It hurt. But I wouldn't let go. 1247 Willow Street. Just as I got that out, Emily grabbed my hair and pulled. Sharp pain shot through me. The cell phone fell to the floor. Damn it! Jason picked up the phone and tried to end the call. But the operator's voice could still be heard from the speaker. Jason smashed the phone against the wall. The screen cracked and the sound cut off. You fool, Emily glared at me. Now the police will come. What do we do, Jason? Emily's voice held a note of panic. Jason clicked his tongue. We have to run. Pack your things now. We'll take the car. Papa, hit me. A weak voice echoed. It was Noah. My son was desperately trying to form words. Aunt Emily and Papa were kissing. When I saw them, Papa pushed me down the stairs. With my son's words, everything became clear. Noah had witnessed their relationship. So to silence him, he was pushed down the stairs. The blood flowing from his head was from that. A father had tried to kill his own 5-year-old child. Shut up! Jason yelled at Noah. But my son continued. Save! Mama! Noah's small hand gripped my clothes. At that moment, I heard sirens in the distance. Emily's expression changed. They're here already. Too fast. Emily hurried toward the door. But the sound of sirens grew closer and closer. Multiple vehicles. Not just police, but ambulances too. Damn, we're surrounded, Jason looked out the window. I could see a patrol car stopping. Officers getting out. Emily, let's escape through the back. But Emily didn't move. She stood frozen in place, still gripping the knife. Running's useless, it's all over. The front door was knocked on violently. Police! Open the door. A heavy voice rang out. Jason tried to flee. From the living room to the hallway, toward the back door. But officers had already circled around to the back. Don't move. Put your hands up. Jason raised both hands as if resigned. Officers handcuffed him. You're under arrest for assault and child abuse. Other officers entered the living room. Seeing Emily, they ordered her to drop the knife. Emily slowly let the knife fall to the floor. It clanged. I always hated Sarah. Emily suddenly screamed. Always Sarah. Dad and Mom only doted on her. They never saw me. I wasn't needed. That's why I wanted to take everything from Sarah. Emily's face was twisted with tears and anger. Seducing Jason was easy. That man was bored with his marriage to Sarah. When I was a little kind to him, he fell right away. Stealing Sarah's husband felt amazing. Emily's words wouldn't stop. I planned this a year ago. I was waiting for Dad to get sick. Then Sarah would go take care of him. Only Jason and Noah would be home. Perfect timing. When the officer tried to handcuff Emily, she resisted. Let go. It's not over yet. Sarah. But the officer subdued Emily without mercy. You're under arrest for attempted murder and child abuse. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. Paramedics came in. They took Noah from my arms and immediately began treatment. Head laceration and contusion. Possible internal bleeding. To the hospital immediately. The medic's voice was urgent. I'm coming with you. I stood up. My legs wobbled, but the paramedics supported me. Ma'am, are you all right? Are you injured? Just save my son, please, I begged desperately. Noah was placed on a stretcher. An oxygen mask was fitted to his small body. I walked beside him. Before getting into the ambulance, I looked back. Jason and Emily were being pushed into separate patrol cars. Jason was expressionless. Emily was screaming. Listen. I had no desire to hear her words. I got into the ambulance. The door closed and sirens wailed. I held Noah's hand. Mama's here. It's okay, you'll be saved. My son's eyelids opened slightly. He seemed to smile faintly. Mama protected me. Tears overflowed at those words. Inside the vehicle heading to the hospital, paramedics were checking Noah's condition. Consciousness level dropping. Blood pressure falling too. Hurry. The medic's voice grew tense. All I could do was pray. Please, save this child. Don't take this child from me. I don't need anything else. Not my husband, not my sister, not a happy home. If only Noah lives, that's enough. The ambulance arrived at the hospital. The stretcher was rushed in. Doctors and nurses were waiting. 5-year-old male, head trauma. Suspected fall downstairs, the paramedic reported. Noah was taken to the operating room. I was left in the waiting room. Alone. This past month, I'd supported Dad, trusted my family, and worked so hard. But it had all been an illusion. My happiness had been broken long ago. My phone rang. It was Dad. With shaking hands I answered. Sarah, are you all right? The police contacted me saying Emily was arrested. Dad's voice sounded disbelieving. Dad. Noah. I broke down crying. I told Dad everything. Jason and Emily's betrayal, Noah's injury, everything. Dad was speechless. It can't be. Emily, my daughter. It's not your fault, Dad, I said. No one could have predicted this. But somewhere in my heart, questions arose. Could no one really have predicted it? Were there no signs of Emily's jealousy? Couldn't I have noticed the change in Jason? The operating room light stayed on. Looking at the clock, 3 hours had already passed. A long, long night. I sat in the chair and just waited. Noah's surgery was successful. There was a skull fracture and brain contusion, but fortunately there would be no lasting effects, the doctor said. After 2 weeks in the hospital, my son was discharged. His small body wrapped in bandages was painful to see, but Noah showed me a smile. Mama, I'm okay now. At those words, I couldn't stop crying. The trial was held 3 months later. Jason was charged with child abuse and assault. In court, Noah took the witness stand. In a small voice but with clear tone, he testified. Papa pushed me down the stairs. Because I saw Papa and Aunt Emily kissing. My son's words brought silence to the courtroom. Jason remained expressionless throughout. His lawyer pleaded for leniency, but the sentence was harsh. 15 years in prison. In court, Jason looked at me once. But there was no apology in that look. Just empty eyes. Emily's trial was even heavier. In addition to attempted murder and child abuse, premeditation was recognized. Emily screamed in court. "Dad! It's not my fault. It's all Sarah's fault." Dad, sitting in the gallery, covered his face. Witnessing his daughter's madness, he had aged considerably. The sentence was 20 years. Emily was led away screaming and crying. "Forgive me." Emily's voice echoed through the courtroom. But I felt nothing. No more tears or anger remained. Just relief that it was finally over. After learning the truth, Dad kept blaming himself. If only I'd paid more attention to Emily. Maybe she didn't get enough love. Dad said this repeatedly. I comforted him. "It's not your fault, Dad. Emily chose this path." But Dad's heart would never heal. Noah and I moved to a new town. Dad came with us. The three of us lived in a small apartment and started a new life. I began working at a new pharmacy. Noah started at a new school. At first I worried whether he'd make friends, but my son adapted quickly. One day, Noah came home from school and said, "Mama, the teacher said something. She said family isn't just people connected by blood." I looked at my son. "That's right, exactly right." Noah continued. "Real family is people who protect you, right? Mama and Grandpa protected me. So you're my real family." At my son's words, I knelt down and hugged him. "Noah, you're such a smart boy. Papa and Aunt Emily didn't protect us. So they're not family." There was no sadness in Noah's voice. He was simply stating a fact. A 5-year-old child understood what even adults struggle to comprehend. Dad came into the living room. His back was more hunched than before, but his expression was peaceful. "Noah, did you finish your homework?" At his grandfather's voice, Noah answered with a smile. "Yes, Grandpa. Math was fun today." While preparing dinner, I looked out the window. The sunset was lighting up the town. A new town, a new life. I'd lost so much. My husband, my sister, and the days I'd believed were happy. But I'd gained something too. I learned the meaning of real family. I understood what truly needed to be protected. Even with blood ties, hatred and jealousy can drive people mad. Emily was my sister. Jason was my husband. But they weren't family. Real family doesn't hurt each other, they protect each other. Noah tugged at my hand. "Mama, what's for dinner tonight?" Looking at my son's innocent smile, I smiled back. "Your favorite hamburgers." "Yay! Grandpa, we're having hamburgers today." When Noah told Dad, he laughed too. "Is that so? I'm looking forward to it." Small happiness. That was enough. I didn't need a fancy house or a perfect husband. Just my beloved son and father, and peaceful days. That alone made me happy. Outside the window, the sun was setting. A new night was coming. And tomorrow, a new morning would come again. The past couldn't be erased. The scars would remain. But we were moving forward. Noah, Dad, and I, the three of us. As a real family.